Welcome to the GPK Boys. I'm Nick Tuff.
And I'm Ryan Kazera.
And I'm Mike Ponovich.
Today we are doing the top 10 moments of 2021 on the GPK Boys channel. First up, the most popular show we've had was about the Facebook Marketplace Almanac. Jeremiah, you did an excellent job on this thing. Our community needed something. We needed a baseline. We needed something to base our cards off of. And you did it. And you did it humbly as well, because Jeremiah still keeps it quite open for people and when it comes to discussions on how these values are. He pulls from eBay sales. He pulls from what he sees from the Facebook groups. And you guys obviously loved it because it was one of our most popular episodes.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough good things about the Almanac. You go through and you look, and again, there's so many posts out there on Facebook in different groups when somebody goes up to their attic and finds this old atom bomb that has soft corners or whatever they might be grabbing. Really gives them a great idea on what that card might be worth instead of 15 different bozos in the comment section just going, The best part about it is they update it on a quarterly basis.
And our fans definitely spoke out on this one because this video has the most views and the most comments, the most likes. So this was the biggest hit we've had all year.
Shameless self-plug, they also did an interview with the GPK Boys.
Wow.
Again, something to keep checking out into the future, but love doing that episode. Next up, our best prank, which was by far the atom bomb pad reveal.
Oh my God, I'm shaking so fucking bad.
You know, the whole prank as a whole was actually probably more exciting than the actual pull of the card.
Holy shit.
Which was pretty lukewarm and really didn't get a ton of attention at the end of the day.
Holy shit.
Phil Reardon did such a tremendous job of really taking us through what his thought process was on the whole thing. I absolutely loved it. Some people were a little butthurt by it, but at the end of the day, we had fun, and I think people enjoyed it.
I even think sometimes that the post about the video was the most exciting part, even caught more fire than the video itself.
I think it's such a great concept art piece in and of itself, like doing a bootleg for the card that everybody wants and kind of staging this announcement. Yeah, there were some sore people in the community, but people get over it. It's fun. It's all in fun.
But I think us breaking the actual news, using the banana phone, Nick, getting a call in his ear, the whole thing all around to me was just absolutely a blast. Definitely the most fun episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we actually got to create a scene and act a little bit. Everything else has been just one-on-one with the people that are on the show. So I actually really enjoyed doing that show.
And if you didn't get it was a prank within the first 30 seconds, then shame on you. I mean, come on, seriously.
Oh, fuck.
Next up, our biggest mistake ever. We interviewed Jeff Zapata when he had minus 12 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I'm sort of it's funny, the new book is called Camp Days, and I'm sort of in a daze right now.
Jeff was such a gentleman, and he was such a sport. We were going back and forth on dates, and the only time that seemed to work initially was him being interviewed by us after a gigantic deadline. So we sat down with him, we interviewed him. It's just, you could tell the exhaustion on this man's face, but he still had so much passion for the GPK.
Yeah, I completely agree. But man, he looked like a walking zombie at that point. And I don't think there was any amount of coffee available in the world that would have helped him.
Instead of violence, let's do, they added, poo,
So I don't know if many people know, but we actually interviewed Jeff a second time. And then they got the chance to see both, right, Mike?
They didn't get to see the first one because I feel so bad for Jeff because we dragged him through the mud for an hour and just thinking oh God, we have Jeff. We got to get him on. We can't screw up this date because we were kind of postponing it and stuff. And then it just became really clear very fast that the poor guy just needed some rest. So we shot it again.
I'm trying to get this done, but as soon as it's done, I'm going to try to sleep for 2 days.
We'll make this nice and easy on you.
Hey, speaking of GPK OG celebrities, we had a special guest on, Roxanne Tozer, who was absolutely phenomenal. You guys would probably know her mostly if you've seen 30 Years of Garbage, and her taking phone calls back in the day and the different things that she went through was absolutely unreal. We were, for the most part, all kids when the original Garbage Pail Kids dropped. So again, to get an adult's perspective on what that looked like, and to also see her excitement and everything she brought to the table was phenomenal, especially those GPK pencils. Anything from her jacket. She had that WWE Garbage Pail Kids jacket on to to some of the other things that she shared with us and showed us, but her stories were amazing to me.
I was just blown away by the amount of passion she still had for these stickers. I was absolutely charmed.
Our phone was ringing continuously, and we would get calls from men saying that they were buying the cards for their children. Haha. They were really buying them for themselves.
To hear that there were adults collecting back then is a little surprising to me. I mean, maybe not because we're collecting today, but we're collecting for the nostalgia. But just to know that adults were actively buying this stuff just blows my mind.
Roxanne, if you're watching this, which I'm doubt you are, thank you so much for coming on the show. Now it's time to get sexy. We, as the GPK Boys, launched our very own GPK Boys underwear. That's right. So this was our endeavor. Mike, honestly, was the brainchild of this. He went back and forth with us on different designs, but all of this and most of this was him. And it was fucking hilarious, Mike. We also did a fanny pouch. We did it in 2 colorways. We did a pink and blue.
We love it. I think we are our biggest fans, right?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I got to say, more than anything else, as stylish and as fun as the underwear were, they're actually comfortable as hell as well. Speaking of sexy, you don't get any more sexy than the star of our funniest moment. While we were doing the Atom Bomb pad prank, we had the chance to talk to Stevie COACHELLA. The best part was it was a very candid interview. He was outside of a restaurant where he was having, I think, lunch or dinner with his family. What happened, though, was when we asked Stevie about going to landscape, if he had landscape on his phone rather than having it the long way, he proceeded to show us some landscape. Stevie, turn your phone the other way, if you don't mind. Turn it landscape so we can get a nicer picture of that handsome face of yours.
Not really in any landscape except for this tree that's outside of the restaurant.
No, silly, your phone in landscape.
What's that?
What's the fucking
He's
plan?
actually looking for landscape.
Oh, like that?
Mike, you have got to put this in there.
So, Stevie, put your phone like this if you can, horizontal.
Oh,
There you go.
let's go.
Yep.
I still laugh thinking about that moment.
What a dummy. And Stevie, I love you for it.
No, it's hilarious because it kind of shows his age of like I don't know, all the millennials know what landscape is, right? They just, because they grew up with phones and stuff.
Stevie never changed, buddy. Never changed.
Did someone say bats? Here we are at the most peculiar moment. Our interview with Jeff Zapata, where he busted out Evil Eddie's 3 bats.
What I always thought Eddie should have a gang of bats, but they're like, sort of like, I don't know if you ever seen that cliche of a gangster with a bunch of hoods that like henchmen that are stupid. You know what I mean? Okay, boss, whatever you say, And each one has a different personality. So you got Snack Bat, so he always eats stuff and messes up the plan. This is Stink Bat. He just stinks. And we got Spit Bat. And not only does he just regularly spit, he spits fire as well.
That's the crazy thing about Jeff, and it's crazy in a good way, is that he has this whole narrative that he comes up with for the GPK characters, and it really adds a backstory and meaning to them, and those are kind of translated into his artwork.
His mind just works in a different way, and I think that that's very evident in a piece like this. But some of the other things he drew as well were just really taking the Garbage Pail Kids world to a new level, to a new place.
I think that's why Jeff was the perfect person to work on the R.L. Stine books, because he really had to be the middleman, the translator between R.L. Stine's vision, which he was kind of looking at the characters by more about their names than what we kind of assume that they're doing. So Jeff was able to kind of stand in and massage that to make it work for the Garbage Pail Kids and the Goosebump fans.
Did somebody say stats? Because now it's time for the nerdiest episode. It's actually both of our Sapphire episodes. Nothing gets GPK people more excited than stats and information. And the Sapphire team was badass. They tracked about 100,000 cards and gave us all the juicy information on what's been pulled, what hasn't been pulled, how many of this, how many of that. And it created huge discussions in the community. Ben and the team, I want to thank you guys for sitting with us because those were very exciting episodes, very, very interesting. And I think a lot of people got a lot of awesome information out of them.
They just did such a good job. And again, the amount of time that they put in to track everything that they did is just so mind-blowing to me. But the best part about that is they love doing it. It's not like they're sitting there, crunching numbers. It's something that they're extremely passionate about because they were so passionate about Sapphire.
I think what Sapphire has presented and what the stats team has taken upon to document is historical with GPKs. It's really unique and really interesting.
Yeah, not to mention, Mike, my favorite part of both these interviews still was the fact that I had the least productive break out of anybody. So, of course, I kind of got a kick out of that. Out of everything they tracked, I had the worst box break that was recorded. So that's always awesome.
Hey, it's all about making records, Ryan.
Nothing
That's
but
true.
the best, right? Nothing but the best.
Now on to one that gives us the feels. Our favorite guest, Jasmine CONTOIS. She was absolutely fantastic. She was super prepared. She even did her makeup and got dressed, where half the people we have on the show, I don't even know if they just rolled out of bed or what's going on. My favorite thing about Jasmine, honestly, was she was almost as excited to be on the show with us as we were to have her. Some of the tips that she gave out, some of the stories that she told about being bullied, some of the behind the scene things with the GPK world that we had never heard about. Just tremendous start to finish and just overall just so charming.
Jasmine is absolute top notch. She's also like an icon in the GPK community. And again, like you said, she brought so much energy to the video. And I'm rambling on. Let me try something. There's something I wanted to say. No. Mike, erase all that shit. Watch this. It's just, she was so wonderful on the show. In fact, she even went ahead and helped us with our first, was it our first giveaway?
Yeah, and Jeff Hines was the winner of that. And he was so happy to have the opportunity to get a custom sketch by Jasmine, and he got an Acrotis frame. Congratulations again, Jeff. Thank you so much, Jasmine. We're so glad to have had you on the show. And we got to have her back. We got to think about what that second episode's going to be.
I think now we go from the top to the bottom, guys. We go from an amazing guest to probably the worst show we ever did. And that would be the pilot. We never even released the pilot. It was so bloody bad. And looking back at the footage, I am personally extremely embarrassed at my own video setup.
I have a love you more sign behind me. I mean, what the hell was I thinking on that? Nick and I kind of talked and did a call or two in the past and did some breaks live, got Mike involved. And this was just kind of like, hey, let's get together and see where this goes. It was clunky. It was all over the place. It's like a bad car accident that, you've got, this awesome driver on one side who's driving you along in Sapphire, and you've got the bad accident on the other side of the road over there, which ends up being C3 at this point.
After looking at this, Mike, I wanted to thank you for grabbing us and taking us to another production level, because this is fucking awful.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mike. Mike was also collecting guys, by the way, Panovich. Mike Panovich is also our producer, everybody. Damn it!
Sometimes you just have to do something and sit back and look at all the mistakes and improve on it. And I'm really glad you guys were totally down to shoot it again. You didn't think twice. You're like, let's do a really good job here. The thing that I am bummed about is that you threw this away after we shot it, so we couldn't shoot it again. But this really wonderful artwork that I did.
I want to thank you too. I've had so much fun. I've actually been able to grab two really, really close friends out of this. Mike, I will never say something nice to you besides this one moment, so soak it all up. Ryan, I'll always say nice things to you. But gentlemen, I absolutely love this channel, and I love our community, and I love what we've put together, and I'm very, very proud of it.
Listen, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts, Happy New Year, and let's keep the GPK excitement going in 2022.
Mike, you give us the final word, buddy.
You guys are making me feel very uncomfortable.
And that's our show for today, guys.
But just want to thank all the subscribers and everybody who's given us support throughout the year. If you aren't a subscriber up to this point, you can go fuck yourself.